So excited to be here filming this video and engaging with you as this new version of myself. I went vegan about 3 months ago, and this journey of healing is nowhere near complete. I've had multiple visions of the healthy version of myself that I'm meant to be, though multiple times in my life I have tried to achieve that version of myself, and I've been derailed by what I now understand as these narcissists and people in positions of power who want to keep me disempowered in order to keep their power. But at the end of the day, I know inherently that disempowering people, ignoring people to try to empower yourself, surrounding yourself with only powerful people, and not seeing the potential in those who are striving and working to try to be the best version of themselves isn't true power. And I have compassion for those people who I wanted to resonate with, wanted to collaborate with, wanted to work with, wanted to create co-videos with along my journey. But I can now see that, it didn't work out because those weren't essentially the people that I needed. And this vegan community that I found in the last month, really a couple of months, and I've just really been surrounding myself with these people who are really in my life, really healthy, really thriving, really eating nutritious, living, organic foods. It's changing me at such a rapid pace, and it's so funny because for so many years I justified the journey I was on. I'll be a yogi and I'll be a different kind of yogi. I'm not going to do things the way everyone else did, and I can be a yogi who eats meat products, and does the most powerful yoga, right? But what it's come down to is I'll be 40 this April. Happy birthday to me, right? And my body is like, no, you can't play this ego game anymore. Biologically, this isn't working for you. And if I eat meat products now, the flow is gone. I can't bend and move the way that I used to. So no doubt about it, I've been blessed with amazing genetics that allowed me to do yoga on a high meat and dairy diet for at least a decade. But I can't do that anymore. So, and it's funny because there was I went Jain for a while, and I went vegetarian, but there was never really a calling to go full-on vegan. And honestly, at this point, I'm like, I wish that calling would have come sooner, but maybe that's just not a part of my, seeing how well it has been for me, this whole journey of going vegan, how enlightening it's been and energizing it's been and amazing I am feeling. I find myself wishing that I did this so much sooner in my life, but maybe my journey is, not so selfish like that. Maybe my journey is to understand both worlds and to help others also get on this path of eating, living healthy, nutritious foods. So yeah, I've had an interesting 3 months being vegan. This is really the only time in my life. This is the only time in my life, these last 3 months, that I've not eaten any dairy. And that's wild. Even on my trek, 3,000 kilometers, when I didn't have money and I was in the Himalayas, somehow, whether it be a tea or some food that was given to me, I was still consuming animal products and dairy because that's what was available. So even in my poorest times, I was still eating animal products and dairy, which is so funny because most people, when they reach an economic state where they can't, they don't have the money. One of the first things that goes is like the meat products and stuff like that, which in my case, every time that's happened, it's been a massive blessing. The first time in my life in 2012, when I couldn't afford meat, was when I actually had the most powerful, enlightening experience of my life. I fasted on ginger water and spinach leaves from the Japanese grocery store in Little Tokyo in Los Angeles. And I experienced things that to people who haven't gone that deep or had experiences with other very tangible realms of existence, it would be very hard to explain to you. But it was very real and a shared experience with a friend. And just overall, from a very biological perspective, that time in my life, I was biking like 20 miles a day, easy, around LA because I loved it and it felt good and my body could do it and I felt invincible. Like, I got in a gnarly bike accident because I was being a little in my ego, wearing my sweater, and it got caught in my bike spokes. And I was fine. I got up and dusted myself off. I mean, I was like a superhuman. Not as intelligent as I could have been, but like definitely the energy that I experienced at that time was amazing. But it didn't really stick, and I didn't really have the commitment and the conviction. And it was like a lot of choices that forced me, and this time forced me to go like raw or eat or fast. And now is at this point in my life, it's like it's a conscious choice, and it's so powerful because it's like, all right, I've gone down all these different roads and I've tried all these different things, and I'm so excited to see where veganism is taking me and how it's healing me. And I'm happy that you're here experiencing this journey, because I'm telling you, the change that I've experienced in the last 3 months, unlike anything I've ever experienced. The healing, the rapid healing, a lot of, just things that I'm not going to dive too deep into right now because it's like all vegan talk and stuff like that. But just the way my body feels in life overall throughout the day, it's amazing. And just everything in me is like, yes, this is the path for me. This is what works for me right now, and this is working so well for me. It's amazing, actually. And I feel two things right now. It's like there's been a lot of people in my life over the years that don't believe in this kind of change and experience to their core, even to the point where in the moments in my life where I actually healed and I became a different version of myself, they could not accept that change. They wanted the sick version of me. That's what they identified with, regardless of whether or not I wanted to be that person. They couldn't let go of their scapegoat. They couldn't let go of that pain body that they identified with because misery loves company. But I'm going to be 40 in April. And for my own sake, and this is something you should hear if you're also on this healing journey, for my own sake, for my own health, for my own well-being, I feel like I finally reached the point where I made the decision and I said, okay, they've got their perspective, and it's no longer going to subconsciously motivate me to be that person for them anymore, because it's given me absolutely nothing and left me broke and isolated and unhappy and lonely and just feeling like so out of alignment with my life. And once I made that decision, connecting with the right people, the right vegan community, which is what I really need right now, what I'm really resonating with, and a lot of my closest friends in real life right now are vegan. And so it was just like, wow, these are the people who I align with right now. And so I've just got to get on that path and start living that way. And like, I'm more than raw vegan right now. Like, I eat probably, I would say, to be honest, 85 to 90% raw foods, because I'm still transitioning from the diet that I had that wasn't very good 3 months ago. And so every now and again I'm craving things that are like cooked and whatever, cooked vegan foods. And I'm not trying to be too hard on my body, you know, so I'm honoring that. But yeah, I'm really trying to go like really, really raw vegan. And I've seen just such drastic change in my life, and just my overall mindset is changing too, you know. Like, right before I went on this diet, it was just like the negative thoughts were overwhelming, and that positive voice was just gone in my head. And now it's back, you know. It's like every time I'll have a negative thought, there's this other voice that's like higher and brighter, which is like, that's not you. You know what you're doing. You're doing fine. And here's this positive, amazing thought that wasn't there before to confirm that you're on the right path. And I would say in the last 5 years, my diet got so heavy, like way more cheese than I ate like before I started a family. And I really cut that stuff out of my diet. But then having it around in the last 5 years after starting a family, no longer living solo, I found myself like eating a lot of that cheese. And prior to that, I didn't get sick for like a decade, since 2012, not even one cold. Not COVID, nothing. And in the last 2 years, I've got sick every winter, at least twice. And I got sick again, 4 days ago, but there's something different about this one. And I'm not gonna get too deep into the mucus talk and stuff like that, because I know that the majority of people on here right now are not vegans and probably not into that, and I haven't accumulated the vegan community around me right now to feel open enough and safe to talk about these kind of things that don't gross most people out. But it feels like, being on this mucus-free diet, that like a lot of the things, we'll just say things, stuff, that is leaving my body and leaving my system, it's like, it's going for good, and it is not coming back. And it's like, it's just like a whole different level of that. It's just, it feels like every time I get under the weather, it's a recalibration of my being. It's like a totally different experience. So I am really looking forward to the spring and summertime, because I feel like I just really need that sun and that heat to like help me really move forward and like bake in this change and like get rid of all of these toxins that are still in my system. And I just can't wait. I can see it. It's like, it's a vision of me just showing up on here. And I've had this vision since I started this healing journey in 2012, and I discovered that through my unfortunate circumstance of becoming poor and not being able to afford the foods that were literally killing me, draining my life energy, pizza and burgers, and having to buy spinach, right? When I started that healing journey and my body and the inflammation went down, and I just started getting healthier, better, happier, having a real social life. Since then, I've had this vision of like, I'm gonna heal to completion. I'm gonna be the healthiest, happiest, most aligned version of myself. And it has been a lot of ups and downs, like a lot of serious healing, because I messed up my life and my health for like a good 20 years. Easy. And it's not been an easy process. It's not just physical. You know, that's what I thought when I started. I'm like, oh, this is such a cool realization that food can affect my well-being and my health. Wow, it's all changed. I'm gonna be different. Well, there was all this mental, emotional, spiritual stuff that needed to change and get worked on too. The people I was attracting into my life, the habits and the patterns and the tendencies to not honor myself and regulate my nervous system, and just like there's a whole process to healing. Decades and decades of abusing and not taking care of your body. And it's not just about cutting the foods out. You know, like, that's a start. And so, but since that start, when I had that vision of like, wow, I'm gonna be amazing, you know, I'm gonna be doing handstands overnight in my yoga. No, but this might be the year where I have the physique to not just do a headstand, because I can do a headstand, but to finally do my handstand. And just to show up here and surprise you all one day with this version of myself that you no longer recognize. And so I hope you're ready for that. If you're not ready for that, I don't know what to say. I can no longer hang on to the past, you know, because this past version of myself, it doesn't serve. It hasn't served. I've been back and forth trying to keep it, trying to let it go, but now it's clear to me that this veganism, this vegan diet, the way that I'm living and operating in the world is changing me so fast, and I without a doubt will be showing up mentally, emotionally, and physically this spring and summer as someone you no longer recognize. And I'm so ready for that. And I think on some level, the people who've been waiting for me to be aligned and healthy and energetic and to be the leader that I need to be in this world, in this life, are more ready for that than they're even aware of right now. So I'm excited for that. I hope you're excited. It's going to be, whether you're excited or not, I'm excited to share it. I'm really, really excited to share it. I can't wait. And it's going to be such a powerful spring and such a powerful summer this year. Big. I'm talking like, you won't recognize me. I won't recognize me. Let's start something new and something fresh together. I'm so excited. So excited for it. So excited. I don't have any more words. That's it. That's everything I wanted to share. Take care. And one day, there'll no longer be this awkward, is it the right time to end the video or not? It'll be, I'm in the flow, and now it's time to go.